Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today in this video we have brought you a very informative session about how you can get US B1 B2, which is also called as visit, tourism or business visa without any help of agents. So in this video the most important thing is that we will let you know that how you can myself apply for this visa without any assistance, without any agency or agents. And we will also cover some of the myths which are associated with US visa. And might be sometimes we have created those myths in our minds, and that is why we are unable to apply for US visa. So in this video, what you will be covering as an information, first we need to learn to navigate the website, and of course we will go to the official website, and we will not redirect to any external third party websites. And we also advise all of you to not use any third party websites or any websites by the agents, because the US tourism and visit has only one official website through which you can apply for your visas by yourself. Take one, what you can get a good take away from this video. Take one, simple application process. We will go through some application process as well. Number two, fill application by yourself. So please remember that even the US immigration department does not even ask you to get any assistance for your visa or to ask any third party or any agent, because most of the time I have seen, like, most of the embassies or most of the immigration department of different countries officially does recommend you some third parties or agents on their own websites, and they advise you that you can contact these third parties or agencies for their country's visas and to get the process going on. So, but in terms of US visa, there is no as such recommendation on their website, so you can apply by yourself as well. Of course, you can use some assistance. For example, you can use anyone from your family member who can help you in filling out your application. But remember that US immigration department does not recommend any kind of third parties or agent necessarily for you to hire and to apply for the visas. So that is what I just wanted to clear here, accordingly my own experience as well. Number three, get rid of agents or extra fee because you are applying by yourself, so that makes a sense. Number four, which is very much important, because once I will redirect to the website, you will see that it is very simple to apply for the US visit visa. You will only be requiring like two main steps to complete. But besides that, the most important thing where most of the people got stuck is that they don't find any good purpose to go to US, or maybe they don't come up with good purpose or ideas to apply for the visit visa, or maybe sometimes during their interview as well in front of the consular. So that became a hurdle for them, and that is why most of the time they get fail. So take four is very important, and I will talk on this in a very detail. And I also have write down some good ideas for you to brainstorm and to start preparing your application. Number five, get ideas how you can use fully funded or sponsored conferences in US to use in your application. This point relates to points four as well, but I will also tell you that how even you can get some fully funded opportunities in US as a youth to attend any conference or business conference. We will also talk about required documents. There is no hassle in US visa. This is one of the most wonderful thing about US immigration office, that there is no ample amount of documents you need to attach or you need to provide them at initial stage, and that is why it makes very easy to apply for the US visa. So simply in this section you will require only two steps to complete. Talking about some myths for US visa, we will also talk about some myths and taboos which is associated with US visa, or might be sometimes we have created these in our own mind, and it has nothing to do with the immigration office. So these are the common myths. US visa is for rich having bank statements. I think this is one of the I think this is like very, very wrong. This is not correct. It is not necessarily to have a bank huge or heavy bank statements to show to US immigration officers. That does not require every time, I would say. Because in my case, even I got US visa in 2019 for the very first time. I They did not even ask for my bank statements. I will let you know that what options I used in this section when I say like what ideas you can find a good purpose of visit to US. And myth number two, I can't apply by myself. Like most of the people think US visa is very difficult to apply. They just create this myth in their mind and it has nothing to do with the immigration office. So that is why it became a hinder for them. So you have to, like, this is also wrong. I have to pay heavy agent fee. That is absolutely wrong because I clearly said to you that you can apply by yourself for US visa, and I will redirect you to the website as well. And we will also fill an application like you can see a trial or demo application. My case is not strong. Of course, that is wrong. It is not necessarily important to showcase a strong case in front of the consular on the day of interview. That is not required at all. You can, like, you can even show very simple documents, very basic documents to the consular, and even you can get a visa. That is 100% correct. I don't find good purpose to go to US, which is one of the most common, hinder, I would say, the most common problem of the people. So, of course, we will talk about the ideas, but let me just take you to the main website first. So, this is the main website. Other than this website, you should not be applying anywhere. Like, you should not try any third party websites or agencies' website. This is the only official website, travel.state.gov. And here you can find, like, in their menu, US visas. I have already picked one of the US visas type, which is visitor visa, which is also called as B1 B2 visa, like as a combine. So let us just explore the basic information about this visa. A foreign national traveling to the United States for tourism needs a visitor visa B2 or combined B1 B2. In 2019, I got B1 B2, a combined uh, US visit visa. So yeah, that is also called as a combined B1 B2 visa, and in a common way we can say it as a visit visa. So just wanted to see, like, required documents for the visit visa. Remember, we are just talking about visit visa. So as I said to you, you would only be required to complete two steps. And in terms of documents, as you can see here, there is no any, you know, ample amount of instructions for you to attach this document and that document. You only need to complete two steps. Number one, for non-immigrant visa application, you need to submit form DS160. That is one, document, and that is also an electronic application. And number two, as a document, you must have photo, like, as a visa photo. So you can always check the photo requirements here for your information. I think that is like very easy. But we will be focusing on form DS160. This is the one form which you need to complete first, and then like your 90% work will be done. So I'm just redirecting it to DS1 form, DS160 form. So as you can see, it is getting loaded. Meanwhile, we can, yeah, like, here is the basic photo requirements, like the size 22 mm and 35 mm, like very basic. So here is the official website for the DS160 form. For applying as a visiting visa for US, you only need to complete this document, DS160. Please remember, and your 90% work will be done. And now we just wanted to see, like, from where location and which country you are applying from. For example, I'm applying from Pakistan. So here you can see Pakistan, Islamabad. I have to enter. I have to enter this code now. NPPTC. Like it is a security check code, and even you can test a photo as well here. But we are not in hurry. We can do it later as well. Once you have selected the location, like your country from where you are applying, and also your nearby embassy, and then you should be inserting this code, which is a security code, and then you click start an application. Now from here you can see some instructions, computer fraud and abuse act notices. You should always be carefully reading all these instructions. Once you say I agree, I will try to fill the form as much as I can because I am not officially filling the application, but I will assume some, temporary names, and I will try to do it like anonymous or maybe trying some XYZ names. Here is another security question before you go to the application. I just select this question. I will just put some, temporary answers for it. I will be assuming few of the answers. Once I have put the security answer, here is the main process which will start. They have now generated my application ID number and my farm number, even the date and estimated burden, like 90 minutes. I can work on this website. Even I can save my progress, and here you can see like I can save my progress. So what is one of the good thing about US visa is that, let me show you one thing. As you can see, before you go down scrolling the form and start filling the form, just check on your left side. Getting started, you will only need to insert these information, and that is like very simple. And in this form, like the whole form, they will not even ask you to attach any document for proof at the initial stage. This is not required at all. You must remember this. So personal one, for example, your surname, like all that information which is written on your passport, basically. And remember, you have to put all the information which is given on your passport. And personal two, travel, for example, if you have any travel history. And please remember, it does not affect your application, because when I applied in 2019, I was a fresh, traveler. I did not even have any travel history at all. And to your surprise, on my passport, even I got my first visa as a US visa. So that does not affect your application. Please remember, I'm just here to help you to remove all the myths and all the stigmas which are associated, or maybe we have just created in our mind, which has nothing to do with the official, officers. Your travel companions, that is like optional. I would say like you don't need to fill this section once you you know once you bring your application step here. You don't need to provide any information about this. For example, if any sibling or maybe your wife, husband is traveling with you, then it is important. Otherwise, it is not. You can't say that my friend is traveling with me, or I would advise you to avoid, such companions. For example, friends, uh, your late relatives, which are not like very close to you. For companions, you can always put information about your mother, husband, father, wife, siblings. I think that is the close companions. Previous US travel, once again, I would remind you that it does not affect your application. If you have not previously traveled to US, just skip it and saying no. Address and phone, they will ask your basic address in US, for example, and they, like it is not necessarily important to have a permanent address in US. For example, you can book a hotel in US and then you can provide that address. Or maybe, for example, someone has invited you in US, then you can take an address from there. So this is like very simple. Your passport, your US contact. When I say US contact, which means, for example, you are going to attend a conference, you can request them that please provide me some contact information, like the basic contact information, so that I can put in my visa application. It is like very easy. Your family, they will ask about your family information, your work, education, and training information. When I say work, education, and training information, you can always put your volunteer experiences as well. Believe me, most of the time people think that, oh, they need to put some, professional work experience or some trainings. Might be it will strengthen their case in front of the consular. No, it does not. If you don't want to put any information about your work, it depends on you. But please remember, if you have not put any information of your work in this DS160 form, then on the day of your interview you should not mentioning any work, information in front of them. You can only mention your education or current education or your graduation or your trainings. And always you can put some volunteer work as well. I would suggest you, like, volunteer work is like very positive, is a positive gesture. For example, you have been working in a humanitarian social NGOs, or maybe you are working in some community work. So that makes sense. This is a security and background check, and that's all. And the form is very, very simple. Like US visa form is very simple. I'm just giving my 100%, authentic feedback to you. I will try to fill the information, because right now I am not filling any information, but I will assume some, temporary or XYZ names. For example, just John, and what is my given name? It's Khan, and then full name, it's John Khan. Okay, have you ever used other names? No. And do you have a telecode that represents your name? No. Simply you have to put no. I could say male. For example, I say I'm single, and my date of birth, I will assume like this is not my date of birth, I'm just assuming. So my city, for example, in Pakistan, I am in Lahore right now. My province is Punjab. Select country, I'm like Pakistan. I have completed this, and now I will move down to personal too. Like you see, this is very simple. Country of origin. My country of origin is Pakistan. Do you hold or have any held any nationality other than your origin country? No, I have not. Are you a permanent resident of country region other than your country? No, I don't have dual nationality. So here I would put my national ID number, like the national identification number. I will assume this. This is not my correct identification number, but I will see. So do you have US social security? No, does not, because I am not a US citizen, neither I am a permanent resident of US, so I will say does not apply. Whatever thing does not apply to you, don't make any new experiments with that. Just simply apply it, does not apply to me, and you will be okay to go. That does not affect your application, please remember. So you see, now I have been jumped to this section, travel information. Purpose of the trip to the US. I think beyond all these steps next, these are very easy to complete. This is one of the important aspect where I will give you some ideas, and I think the purpose of this video will be fulfilled. But let's just see what kind of options we have on this website, on this form. Purpose, because I am applying for visit visa, so I will say temporary business player visitor B, or I can say, where is B1? Okay, let's just assume B, because you will be given B1 B2 combined visa, I'm very sure. So now I have to specify. Here you can see B1 B2. You have to select this B1 B2, because this is one of the very common visa, and this is very easy to get it. So don't just specify. You can even specify, for example, if you are going for B1, for example, business and conference. And if you are going for B2 specifically, it says that tourism plus medical treatment. That is also a good option if someone wants to get a medical, medical treatment in US. They can always apply for that visa as well. But I would suggest you B1, B2 visa allow you multiple things to do in US. So I'm done with it. Have you made specific travel plans? You can always say no, it depends. But if you have made some plans, for example, you know the intended date of arrival in US. For example, I'm just assuming that I will be going, uh, I will be going in December. Intended stay, I would suggest you should, because if you are a fresh applicant to apply on US visa, so I would suggest you to select number of weeks. Don't go for months. So from here you will write some address in US, right? And before we fill this, because I just wanted to make some clarity about this point, what is the purpose of trip to US? That how you can find good ideas about this. And then you can even have the option who is paying for your trip. So my next suggestions, my next ideas to you are based on these 2 points, like who is paying for your trip, and the main question, what is the purpose of your trip to US, how you will declare it, how you will defend it on the day of your interview to the consular so that he can give you B1, B2 visa. So let's just go back to my Jamboard where I have, you know, write down some very good ideas for you. Let's just assume that you are in front of the consular on the day of interview, or even before your DS160 form. You should find out some good reason, some good purpose to visit US. Even though, as I have cleared to you, while you will be filling out this form DS160, you will not be even asked to attach any documents, like in the whole, as you can see, there is no even option for you to attach any documents. You will be simply putting some information in the written text format and in their given format, just like this, and then finishing the whole steps till end, and then you will click submit. That's it. You would not be needing to attaching any documents. But of course, on the day of interview, they can ask you few documents if required. So let's just go back to find a good purpose as a visitor in US. My number one idea to you, which works 100%, and it worked for myself as well. Let's just think of attending a fully funded or partial conference in US. For example, you are a young person, and even it does not matter like what is your age. I would not like specify any age. So you can find there are like plenty of opportunities for young people in US to attend conferences. We will also later put in our comment sections those opportunities which you can avail for yourself, and you can become the next youth leader to attend the fully funded or partial conferences in US. If you are hardly looking for these opportunities, you can always comment in the section so that we can attach those opportunities for you. So the best idea is you should always find a fully funded or partial conference in US in any state. It would be happening in any state. What benefit it will bring to you for to make your case strong in front of the consular is that number one benefit you would having be a fully funded or a sponsored conference in US, which means that any organization, any company in US is offering you to attend this conference, and they are covering all your expenses, for example your travel, your hotel or your accommodation, and the regional or the local cost while living in US. I went in 2019 to one of the fully funded conference in US. I got invitation letter, and in the invitation letter it was clear that they are covering my air travel expenses, my accommodation, and my meal. And that is why I was able to put the address of that company in my application, and it was easy for me to put that address in the DS160 form, and that makes my case very strong. And because they were also covering my expenses as well. But beyond that, you can also find some opportunities where they are not covering your other expenses, but they are inviting you to attend the conference. And we called it as a partial conference, like it is partially covered. For example, they are covering your air travel, but then they say you that you should always book your hotel for 5 days, for 6 days, for example, till the days of conference. So I think that is also like a very good blessing. If they are covering your air travel, it is enough. You can book your least cheap hotels in US in that location, and then you can put that hotel location in your DS160 form. And even you don't need to pay for your hotel at the early stage. You can use advanced booking option just to reserve your booking. So I think this is one of the good idea, number one, which works 100%. And the counselor is like he or she is good to go to give you a US visa, because that makes a good sense. Number two, put your current organization supporting you to get you a letter stating your visit to US. Which means, for example, if you are a current employee in any organization, in school, in institution, in any IT company, wherever you are working, you must make some connections in US first, or you should look on the Google search. Like you can look on the Google search, like what kind of opportunities you can find for your relevant work. For example, if you are working in an IT firm, you can find like what conferences are being happening in US in the next 1 year, in the next 2 years regarding IT professionals. So you can always sign up for those opportunities, and then they will send you an invitation for that conference. Maybe they are not for the professional. Usually such conferences are not fully funded for the youth, but which I have mentioned in the previous, uh, which I have mentioned this for the young people. Like these are most of the time fully funded. But for the professional, if you are working in an organization and you want to find a purpose to visit US while using your company as a sport, then you should look for some opportunities where some conferences are happening in US, and you can get some support from your organization, as well as to get sign up for those conferences in US, and then that organization in US will give you invitation letter, and that you can use in your DS160 form, that you are going to attend this conference XYZ, and you can put their address, and you can put the intended dates of your arrival and departure. And then you can ask your organization, once you get the invitation letter from XYZ company in US, then you can ask your current employer that, okay, I have got this invitation from XYZ company in US, and I am very willing to attend this conference. I seek your support. If you can help me in stating in my DS160 form that my uh, company or organization is helping me to pay for my trip in US. This is just a formality in order to mention it. They will not even ask you to show us the paycheck, what kind of amount they are giving to you. So I think number two also makes a sense. And I think in most of the cases, if you are very confident in front of the counselor, your body gesture is very, fine, then I believe this option two also does work like 90%. Number three, simply an invitation from any organization in US, though you are covering your own expenses. For example, your company is not helping you much, or they are not giving you much support for any kind of such invitation, then what you can do is you can use your own bank statement, and you can simply tell the counselor that you are going to attend this conference in XYZ company in US, and because you have got the invitation, and you can explain about your professional work, your dedication, your commitment, and then you can show them your determination to go to this conference, and you can tell them that how you have you have expanded your networking in US, and that is why now you feel like good to go to US to have an exchange, business ideas, or to exchange some networking, or to exchange some professional, networking as well. That in that case, I think it works like 60 to 70%, because most of the time you are covering your own expenses, and might be they ask you to show your bank statement. But you have to remember, in the DS 160 form, they will not ask you, even if you select like self, they will not even ask you to attach any bank statement at this moment. So I am not like, I would say like this works 60 to 70%. And here we go for idea 4: any business deal or negotiation in US. Sometimes we do not feel confident about ourselves, and we do not find good idea or purpose to go to US. For example, even if you are a young businessman in your early 20s, even in your late 20s, you should always use social media in a very good manner. You can find some networking in US through social media. You can make some good business friends. You can negotiate with them. For example, you can find out that what kind of business is needed in US, because we believe that US is a one of the powerful country in the world, and most of the time they don't even need any kind of professional workers or even the labor workers in US, because they do not prefer most of the time from outsourcing. So what you can do is you can search, you can make a very good research on that, like what kind of businesses are needed in US. When I say businesses needed, I mean like what products are needed in export and import. For example, assume of yourself that in US, leather as a product is very short, and like they are looking for the outsourcing to export or import leather for their trade business. So you can always come up with some good products, with some good business ideas, and then you can negotiate. Even like you can negotiate through using social media at the initial stage. Once you have made good business friends, then you can request them, I just want to have an exchange visit in US, and I just want to sit with you, with your company, and I just want to negotiate further. So I think that makes a sense, and you can tell the consular that you are a young businessman or woman, and that is why you want to expand your business to US, and you have got the invitation as well, and you feel confident to go for it. And I think that clearly makes sense. Again, what documents you required for the visitor visa, B1, B2 visa? As I mentioned before, there are two simple steps to complete. Wow, this is amazing. Like DS160 form and the visa photos. So I was here like filling out the DS160 form for you. So I have explained everything to you. I would not go further filling this application, because I can't assume everything. So if genuinely, like in genuine terms, if you are trying to fill your application, from there on you have very easy steps to fill in, because I have already explained to you about finding out some good ideas and purpose to visit to US. That is where you have to defend in front of the consular, and I have already explained to you all these options as well. You can use all these options. But what makes you afraid is that you might think of yourself that how I will provide my bank statement to consular. So I have already told you that at in the DS 160 form, they do not ask you to attach any documents. Once you have finished the security and background, which is like question answers like FAQs, yes and no. You have any criminal record? You would say no, of course. So once you finish this step, you will good to go to submit the DS 160 form. Once you have submitted the DS 160 form, what is next to go? You will be redirected to an electronic website where they will ask you to generate your login. And once you have generated your login, you will be asked to book your appointment, like the day of interview with the counselor. So whatever you have filled on the DS160 form, it is very important. You have to revise all this information in front of them. Other than this information, you don't need to tell them anything, because the less you speak, the more you are good to go. Because on the day of your interview, they will be reviewing your DS160 form. They will be reviewing, like, just like in front of me. They will be reviewing your DS160 form, and they will ask you the same question, whatever you have filled in here. And of course, the your personal self confidence is a key to, yeah, to good to go in front of the consular. Nothing else. So I just wanted to revise more things, like, is any third party involved while applying US visa, such as an agent? No. Any extra fee? No. Such as agency? No. Because US immigration office does not ask you to apply through any agent or agency. So they always recommend you to apply by yourself, but you can always, uh, you know, you can always take some assistance from your family members, some elders, some experienced person. So yeah, while filling the DS160 form. It is true you can get US visa just in $185. This is the only fee for your US visitor visa, $185. Like currently, I'm not sure about like what will be the fee for the next 5 years, but right now the current dollar rate is like 185, and it depends on your national currency as well, because it will be converted into your national currency later. From start till end, no other charges are included. Yes, it is true. Even without your bank statement, sometimes your visa application works. Yes, 100%, because you will not be asked to attach any bank statement at the initial stage. But on the day of interview, I'm assuming like it is 50-50. Either they can ask you, or else they will not even ask you for any bank statement. They will just review your DS160 form, and because behind the scene they have some security check about yourself as a citizen of that country from where you are coming to US, and then I think it is up to the counselor on the day of the interview, that how you perform, and how much clearly you can defend your purpose of visit to US. So it all depends on that. Thank you very much. I hope that helps you, and you can always leave comments to ask for any information missing in this video, so that we can help you maximum. And you can also go to our YouTube channel, and you can subscribe, like, and share with your other fellows. And we also have put some other videos which are currently trending. For example, such as ships as our current